It's a hot Thursday evening in Delhi, and people are queued outside India's first Olive Garden outlet. Some have come after having looked longingly at Instagram reels about the American casual dining restaurant chain. Others are office goers from the business park in AeroCity, and almost all of them have spent at least half an hour waiting for a seat. All of this looks like good news for Bharti Group, which brought Olive Garden to India in May and probably hope to see the same crowd. Now, Bharti Group's dining arm, called Gourmet Investments, is run by Ramit Mittal. He is a nephew of billionaire Sunil Bharti Mittal, the man who runs Bharti Group and who founded the telecom giant Airtel. Already, Gourmet Investments operates around 55 restaurants across India today, all brands you probably recognize, like Pizza Express, PF Chang's, and Chili's. The business has even grown its sales by over 40% to almost 180 crore rupees in the 5 years to FY25. And over the next 3 years, Bharti wants to go even bigger. The plan is to more than double its current footprint to 125 outlets, including 10 Olive Gardens. That's as ambitious a target as it sounds. And to lead that push, Gourmet Investments has hired Rohan Pevekar, the former chief of Pizza Hut, as the vertical's new CEO. Even the timing looks right for this plan. All the cuisines that once felt niche, like Italian, Chinese, Mexican, Japanese, Thai, have found fans in urban India. Diners are more well traveled now and more willing to pay a premium for a proper sit down experience. But there's a catch. You see, Bharti is betting big on casual dining, a segment that has proved to be hard to scale. Unlike fast food chains that run on fixed menus and standardized operations, casual dining depends on bigger kitchens, longer service times, and staff that is equally trained in cooking as well as hosting. Getting all of that right at every single location is not easy. Take Chili's, the American Tex Mex chain, for instance, which learned the lesson the hard way. It landed in India in 2009 with a plan to open at least 50 outlets in South and West India alone. 15 years later, it has only 30 restaurants nationwide. That's the kind of challenge that Bharti is up against. The conglomerate wants to build a chain business in a segment where success usually tops out at about 20 something outlets. And its confidence lays on a very simple observation that Indians have changed the way they dine out. Welcome to Daybreak, a business podcast from The Ken. I'm your host, Rachel Verghese, and every day of the week, my co-host Nikta Sharma and I will bring you one news story that is worth understanding and worth your time. Today is Monday, the 10th of August. The pandemic was the turning point. You see, before 2020, visiting a fast food chain used to feel like an event. Today, though, fast food convenience has moved online. So, when people do step out, they increasingly upgrade to casual dining instead. That's what Krunal Chawala, who once ran Pizza Express India, told my colleague, the Ken reporter Akriti Bhalla. He has also spent more than 12 years scaling fast food chains like Pizza Hut and KFC. A report from NRAI, the body that represents the Indian food service and restaurant industry, adds another layer to his observation. It said that the typical casual dining customer is 20 to 40 years old. The report even has a name for this demographic: taste voyagers. They are the kind of people who are always looking for new cuisines and experiences, which explains why some serious capital is now pouring into the space. You see, before COVID, most of the investment in independent restaurants came from homegrown hospitality groups like KA Hospitality and specialty restaurants. But five experts from the food and beverage industry told Akriti that post COVID, companies are accelerating the push to scale casual dining businesses to make the most of the trend. And Bharti was one of the first companies to see the opportunity. Through Gourmet Investments, it has spent nearly 15 years building a portfolio of foreign restaurant brands. Olive Garden is just the latest. Other companies have followed Bharti's suit. The Birlas, for example, launched several places under its Aditya Birla New Age hospitality arm. The list includes places like Hakkasan, a Cantonese cuisine restaurant, Yao Cha, a place known for its dim sums, and Nara Thai, another Southeast Asian cuisine spot. There's also K Hospitality, one of India's largest privately held food service companies that operates chains like Wagamama and Nando's. Even the Ambanis have partnered with Pret a Manger, a breakfast cafe, and Armani Cafe, an Italian luxury dining major. Considering all the investments, it makes sense that India now has over 110,000 casual dining restaurants, which, according to NRAI, is nearly half the organized dining market. But despite the support of some of the most influential corporates, most international brands have found limited success in India. Take Yao Cha, for example. In 2013, KA Hospitality, its former owner, tried expanding beyond Mumbai into an upscale locality in southwest Delhi. But the monthly sales swung from 1.6 crore rupees to just 60 lakh rupees before it eventually shut down in 2017. An industry veteran who worked with the brand told Akriti that Delhi's palate just was not ready for it. But that hasn't really affected the optimism in the space. Other brands are more confident that current consumption trends can help them scale. Indians travel more now, are more familiar with foreign cuisines, and they're more willing to spend on dining out than they were a decade ago. Abhishek Bindal, the former COO of Birla's hospitality arm and currently the founder of a hospitality consultancy, believes that a premium casual dining brand can realistically scale to around 10 outlets in the Indian market. Though he also said that with average spends of 3,000 rupees for two customers at each restaurant, while expansion opportunities do exist, they are not limitless. Those same 10 outlets become a natural ceiling for casual dining concepts. Because after those outlets are set up, other factors such as market depth, operational complexity, and brand positioning begin to constrain further expansion. Bharti has actually known this from before. In 2019, Gourmet Investments operated about 15 restaurants and planned to add 80 more by 2020. 7 years later, even though its overall footprint has grown in size, it is still quite short of that original target. More on this in the next segment. If you walk down Bangalore's 12th main road in Indiranagar, you will see that the 1.5-kilometer stretch is packed with restaurants. You'll find both homegrown and international brands offering every cuisine imaginable from Italian to Thai and Japanese. They also cater to an affluent crowd that is largely made up of VCs and tech entrepreneurs. Even Bharti has a presence here in the shape of a Pizza Express outlet. But despite its prime location, the restaurant is described as emptier than its peers by a 24-year-old who is a regular on the street. The diner told Akriti that the busier Italian spots there are Pizza 4 Piece, which is a Vietnamese chain that has a Japanese Italian fusion cuisine, and the Pizza Bakery, a homegrown brand. She said that Pizza 4 Piece is usually booked out a week in advance and is often full at odd hours. Even the Pizza Bakery is usually full, but tables usually free up after some waiting. Now, Pizza Express has faced its own set of challenges in India. It first entered the country in the late 2000s with a different partner. Then it exited soon and returned with Gourmet Investments in 2012. Both its investors and rivals report that since then, Pizza Express has actually shut down several outlets in Delhi and Bangalore because of increasing competition. An investor from a VC firm also told Akriti that another reason why Pizza Express has struggled is that pizza as a category has become commoditized, and rivals have simply outdone the chain in terms of novelty and quality. Meanwhile, some of the most successful restaurants in India have deliberately stayed small. Take the Pizza Bakery in Bangalore, for example, or the Table and Bombay Canteen in Mumbai. or even Leo's Pizzeria and the Big Chill in Delhi. All of them are nearly a decade old, but none are exactly in a rush to expand. Why? Well, because casual dining is driven by innovative chef led menus that are hard to replicate at scale. That's what Samir Seth, the CEO of Hunger Inc. Hospitality, told Akriti. The company, by the way, owns popular brands like Bombay Canteen and Veronica's. He also explained that mostly certain concepts like cafes, sandwiches, pizzas can be scaled, but only with rigorous standard operating procedures in place. Having said that, though, half of Hunger Inc.'s revenue now doesn't really come from its restaurants, but from Bombay Sweet Shop, a premium sweet retailer which started in early 2020 and has scaled through dark stores. The brand has actually helped the company raise over 200 crore rupees from investors like Lighthouse and DSG Consumer Partners. Gauri Devi Dayal, the co-founder of the table, makes a case for keeping it small quite simply. Customers return to a spot as much for the relationship with the staff as they do for the food. She said that intimacy is the product. It can't be copied, packed, or shipped out. Several industry stakeholders, including ex employees from Birla and Bharti Groups, said that for global brands, though, India is just another consumption market. And it's a big enough market to satiate their appetite. The way they see it, they are just introducing their top sellers to new consumers. It could be a tour of Italy package at Olive Garden, which includes lasagna, pasta, and chicken, or even dynamite shrimp and orange chicken at PF Chang's. It's a win win for these companies because for them, both the flow of capital and the risk is entirely with their Indian partners, which naturally brings up the question of how exactly the economics work. Stay tuned. For a restaurant business, location can make or break everything. Gauri Devi Dayal of the table told Akriti that while having a great product is amazing, having a great product with good rentals is a slam dunk. A casual dining outlet typically needs about 3,000 square feet in a location with high footfall. It could be a premium mall, a business park, or even an airport zone. And for it to stay profitable, Sharad Nagpal, the head of retail consulting at a real estate consultancy, said that the rent should ideally stay under 15% of sales. But restaurant real estate has just gotten pricier. Before the pandemic, F&B brands used to occupy 12 to 15% of the space in premium malls. Today, Nagpal said that that number has gone up to 25 to 30% as more people have chosen to dine out more recently. This has actually created something of a double edged sword situation. Obviously, more demand means more revenue for the outlets. But it has also given developers the upper hand when it comes to rent negotiations. And Bharti has actually become quite familiar with this problem. Gourmet Investments, which was set up in 2012, turned meaningfully profitable only in FY25. Toffler, a company information site, reports that Gourmet Investments EBITDA in FY25 came in at 11 crore rupees. Now, with Olive Garden, Bharti seems to be trying to tilt the rent math in its favor. The outlet sits right next to one of Gourmet Investments' own bet, a PF Chang's at Worldmark Aerocity, which happens to also be a commercial complex built by Bharti Real Estate itself. A Delhi restaurant operator said that the rentals there run at about 600 to 800 rupees per square feet. To justify that cost and to fit it into the 15% of sales benchmark, a brand needs monthly sales of about 1.2 to 1.6 crore rupees. A back of the envelope calculation shows that assuming it's a 100-seat restaurant with an average order value of 1500 rupees per person, that means turning tables at least 3 times a day. And even then, a restaurant at Wordmark would need nearly 2 years to start breaking even. But even if it were to start breaking even, the risks don't just go away. Take the example of Red Lobster, a seafood chain in the US which was pushed into bankruptcy after it got locked into long-term leases with its owners, even at unprofitable locations. Despite the risk, because Indians are dining out more than ever, Bharti is betting that the trend holds. But scaling casual dining means getting the basics spot on every single time. The food, the service, the staff, the location at every single outlet. And with restaurants on its own turf, Bharti's ambition to scale may be resting on its ability to solve the location problem first.
Daybreak is produced from the newsroom of The Ken, India's first subscriber-focused business news platform. What you're listening to is just a small sample of our subscriber-only offerings. A full subscription offers daily long-form feature stories, newsletters, and a whole bunch of premium podcasts. To subscribe, head to theken.com and click on the red subscribe button on the top of the Ken website. Today's episode was hosted and produced by my colleague Rachel Varghese and edited by Rajiv Sien.